A partial mash, in its essence, is essentially half grain, half extract. I'm gonna take it for a test spin and do my first ever partial mash and see how I go. My goal is to ferment a 19 litre batch. Now, normally I work in quite small batches because one, my pot ain't too big, only holds 18 litres. And I recently got into kegging and my keg holds 22 litres. And I drank it very quickly. So I think my best option is to actually try a partial mash and try and make a 19 litre beer. We're gonna start with 10 litres of water, get it up to 68 degrees, add in our mash, and mash for about an hour. For my grain bill, I'm going with 1 kilo of Pilsen malt, 300 grams of medium crystal, and 200 grams of Gladfield Gladiator malt. I don't know why, but I just love it. I'm gonna let my mash sit at 65 degrees for about 45 minutes. In the last 15 minutes, we'll crank that up to 72 degrees and do our alpha amylase rest. So for the next 15 minutes, that's gonna sit at 72 degrees. I'm gonna try and open my can of wort extract with the world's worst can opener. No! Oh, he's done it. The wort extract that I'm using, I've already peeled the label off, but it's literally just the Cooper's Lager wort extract. I got it for free and it's been sitting in my cupboard for that long. It is nearly a year out of date. It'll be fine. Smells like molasses. I absolutely hate sparging and I no longer have a rack to actually hold this up while I add in my boiling water. So this is gonna be the most woeful sparge you've ever seen. If we can hold that like that, right? Oh, he's got a second hand. And then we just, you know. Oh, it's burning my fingers. Commit, just commit. Ow. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Ooh. I'm now at the stage where I'm going to take that extract and dump it straight into the kettle. Now that I've poured all my extract out, I've poured some boiling water in the old can and that'll get rid of the rest of it. Oh! That is hot. Huge tip, don't burn yourself. That actually looks like chocolate. While I wait for this to get to the boil, I'm gonna go get my hops ready. I'm gonna be using Hallertau Traditional. I've got 17 grams left over, so I'm going to use 17 grams. They are gonna go in for an hour, and they're just gonna add some bitterness. Hey Google, play Rick Ashley, Never Gonna Give You Up. Okay, stop. Hey Google, set a timer for 50 minutes.
Got it.
Finally, for the late hop, we've got 10 grams of Sabro and Pacific Jade. I don't know what it is about Sabro, but I just love it at the moment. It's fantastic, has a great aroma and a great flavor. Recommend it to everyone. Cow bung them in, leave them for 10 minutes. With the boil complete, I'm now gonna wait for this to cool down a little bit more. I'm gonna add some water until it hits 1.045 gravity. I'm not gonna bang it straight in the fermenter because that's just gonna melt it, and I don't wanna melt it. That was tough. My goal was to hit 19 meters, but I'm pretty happy I've hit meters. My goal was to hit 19 liters. I did hit 18, but my gravity is my gravity is 1.045. So I've nailed my gravity while adding in water incrementally. Yeah, 18 liters. I'm gonna bang in some yeast and we'll see how we go. We'll be using a California lager yeast for this one. Something that was very important for me to learn about pressure fermenting is yellow for gas, red for liquid. Hopefully I don't spill a drop. It is the day of the dry hop. I'm gonna be using Citra and Eldorado for this one. Now I've got 18 liters, so I'm gonna go about 5 grams per liter. So that's gonna work out to about, let me quickly do some math here. What's 5 times 18? Quick math. Oh, Someone wouldn't ring me right now. Hey baby. I'm gonna be using 90 grams of hops. It's a huge amount. Maybe I should cut it down. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna do 40 grams. I'm gonna do 50 grams of El Dorado, 50 grams of El Dorado and 30 grams of Citra. So we'll go about 3 to 4 grams per litre. Yeah, that works out. Sounds good to me, sounds good to you. I've cooked it up with a lager yeast, so hopefully it's a bit more crisp and refreshing, but I want a lot of tropical notes to come out of it. So hopefully the aroma of the Citra, look, I've got a book here. So hopefully with the sensory of the Citra, we get citrus, tropical, and stone fruit. And then the other one is the El Dorado. And with the El Dorado, hopefully we get tropical pear, watermelon, and stone fruit, and that'll make kind of just a sweet aroma to the beer itself, and then hopefully the palate nice and crisp. See how we go with it. I am dry hopping with the pressure fermenter, which I've never done. Wish me luck. Looking at that looks way too much, but oh, huge aroma. Good stuff. The benefit of a pressure fermenter is that I can avoid oxygen getting into the actual beer itself. So what I need to do is actually purge the cone or purge, I guess it's a dumb cone, but purge that. So with CO2, so all the CO2 fills up in there instead of the other gas, oxygen. So let's see how we go with that. I'm actually quite nervous about this, so I'm gonna film a close up so you can see all the hops just go, but it's full of CO2 now, which is fantastic. Well, the hops didn't get to it. It's not really what I expected to happen, to be honest. So all the hops are under the yeast now. Is this a dumb move to make? Yes. Am I gonna do it anyway? Yes. Interesting. That means it's already at 12 psi. Yep, let's leave it at that. This is my second time kegging, so we'll see how we go. First things first, let's purge our keg with some CO2. That's good. And then we just give it the old, oh, bloody hell. Oxygen's been purged, I assume. It's time to transfer gas into pressure fermenter, liquid into keg into fridge, beer into my mouth. My gravity was 1.1? That seems too high. 1.01 I think it was. So the alcohol percentage should work out to about 4.5%. 4.5% was what I was aiming for, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, let's start the transference process. And it'll start smelling like beer in here in no time. This is gonna be good, hopefully. Hopefully it smells nice. I added a lot of hops to the dry hop. What I'm finding is I've nearly transferred the whole amount over, but my filter's actually getting, not necessarily stuck, but the bob is holding it above the liquid itself. So I think next time I use my pressure fermenter, I'll keep the filter on it, but I'll remove the float. It's a learning experience, I guess, but part of me wants to remove it, part of me also doesn't want to remove it. I'm just a bit unsure about it. I feel like the float is a bit more for kegging, because if the dregs, but there's a filter on that as well. What is the point of the float? I don't understand. Oh, that's as good as I think it's gonna get. Half a keg of beer, which is fine. I'll go chuck it in the fridge, give it a couple of days to carbonate, and I've just taken my drub cone off, and I've noticed that a lot of the hops down the bottom are still quite actually dry. So I don't know if it's gonna get the aroma that I actually want. Kind of bothers me. What a waste of hops. But also, like, how can I fix this next time? That's the real question. Guess what? Doorknob drank all their beer before actually reviewing it. Again. This guy. When I first made this beer, I was initially kind of disappointed in the flavor because it was quite bitter, but it was really, really just tasted like caramel. which means I essentially caramelized something that was already kind of caramelized, if that makes sense. I ended up taking it to my home brew club, and their words exactly were, "This tastes like what you get when you go to your mate's dad's house and he's got garbage bins full of beer. It tastes like the original homebrew," which made me feel very flattered because I was very disappointed in what I made. So that made me feel a little bit better about how this actually turned out. One thing I picked up with this beer is aromatically, kind of smells a little bit like popcorn. Usually that means there's a bacterial infection somewhere. The 20 litres I drank didn't kill me, so that's okay. Look, it's not a huge amount of popcorn, but it's kind of like that buttery smell, which is fine. It's probably could also be something else, I guess. The flavour with this beer is a lot softer than I expected. It's really, really sweet and has heaps and heaps of toffee flavours. But other than that, it's fine. I managed to use my pressure fermenter properly this time. If you want to see me not use my pressure fermenter correctly, you're going to love this video because I completely mess it up. See you soon.